Hello. Good morning. It's morning here. By the time you watch this video, it would probably, who knows, be during the day, after day. Yesterday, I got a lot done in the studio as far as preparing to do recordings for sessions. Logic, I see that I might not. Logic will work good is, I think if I just record in Logic, bare bones, without any plugins, not virtual instruments I can use, but I think it every time I kept changing things, it kept loading. The whole screen would reboot. Seems like every time I would open up something, seems like it took forever. I think Logic doesn't leave the plugins open when you close the session. As you need the plugins, they said something like a message popped up to save on something processing. Plugins are opened as needed. So when I got to I tried to use a plugin on my keyboard going in, my audio going in from my keyboard, and I couldn't. Seems like I didn't have the proper routing. It wasn't in the proper signal flow. But I'm looking at all the options for recording. I like Pro Tools. I'm thinking if I'm just going to keep on fiddling around. It looks like now I'm going to have fun with the keyboard with Logic for the next 50 days until I told you that you can get Logic free and Final Cut free. And I also suggested if you're going to use this, make sure you are set up to use it for that 90 days and just don't turn it on and say, oh, this is fun. You know, make sure you're using it for something. Have everything ready so you can get the full benefit of the 90 days. Make sure you're going to be in the studio working those days, you know. You don't want to throw away 90 days worth of studio time. You're not really taking advantage of it. I'm in the process of trying to mold my life to fit the studio session lane. I want to spend the whole day in recording, laying down tracks. I want to start getting on this. Actually, I think I should just jump right in there. I want to get some Christmas songs up so I can sell some around the Christmas holiday. Get enough start on my Christmas songs. That's my best songs. I've been playing them for years, for 4 months, 3 months. And then after New Year's, I don't get to play it again. So I've been doing it for 3 months. So some of the songs are really fermenting. And I was saying the Pro Tools things, I love that. It spoils you when you have a keyboard that can control your DAW, your digital audio. When you can record on your computer, for people who are not into this, when you can record music on your computer, it's a software app inside your computer for I'm not laughing at you, I'm laughing at me because I don't have the words to explain. The software that you record with in your computer, you have to use your mouse or your keyboard to control it, right? So if you had hands-on, your keyboard can control your start, stop, play, your tracks, jump around. If you can control everything, this Logic and the Phantom works like that. But I wasn't familiar. I started off with Logic and now I have to learn it over again. But Logic is so simple, I'm going in it with a wrong attitude. I'm not into the learning attitude with this. It's on me. It's not on the software. The software, you should be able to learn it without even read the instructions. You just find your way around, and it's so simple compared to Pro Tools. I went to school for Pro Tools, and Pro Tools, they have books introductory of 101, Pro Tools 102, 103. Pro Tools, you can stack up a book. If you went to school for Pro Tools, you can, the books are going to stack up. It's going to be like 5 or 6 books. It's on a college level. Believe me, I went to school for it. I never failed the test the whole time I was in school. I never was late, and I never failed the test the whole time I was in there. I did, but the thing about it, there was a veteran. I'm a veteran. There was another veteran in there, Vietnam era. I'm a Vietnam era veteran, believe it or not. I was in as they were pulling out, but I didn't get the full benefits because I was in doing non-war time, a non-war vet. They said the conflict was over. Blah blah blah. But this guy in there, this guy was older than me. He was applying himself. This guy memorized them, all of the microphones. His class was a small class. They said that his class was, everybody in his class were like gun-ho. The class I was in, the afternoon class, most of those guys were like, some of them were spoiled. One guy was paying his own way, but they seemed like rich kids because they were falling asleep in class. They weren't taking nothing serious. You know, like they just seemed like rich brats to me. There was one guy and there was working and paying his own way out of his own money. Gucci Wally Wah, it was his nickname. He was a good guy too. I let him use my Pro Tools code. At one time, you could share your activation code number with other people, and he lost his, and I let him use mine. And he said anything I needed. I say that to say applying myself. I said all that just to say that I wasn't applying myself when I was going to school, studying Pro Tools. Maybe I'm not applying myself now. Maybe I'm not studying the way. I was spending 6 hours studying my homework because I would read it. I would read the chapter that I was supposed to do 4 times. 4 or 5 times I would read it before I actually went back and studied it. I would keep reading it until I got bored with it, and then I would go back and study it. So like, I'm just saying my learning curve for me, I was like the second oldest person in the school. It was a bunch of kids in there. They were like sharp minds, you know, but they were getting like 90s or 80s, passing the test, not even studying. And they were passing. It took me everything. It took all my studying just to be able to get a 90 or a high score. But I said I didn't fail any of the tests the whole time. And but one guy did tell me, he told me, he said, you're not a natural. As far as engineering is concerned, he told me I wasn't a natural. So the stuff wasn't falling right into my head. I was struggling to get the concept of this. Maybe I should study. I hope I'm not babbling. I hope you can follow me. Maybe I should study as if I was in college. The first time I went to the school, I took all of the courses at the same time. It was overwhelming. They had career development and they had hands-on tests. Maybe if I ever go back to a school like that again, I won't take the career development classes. I'll only study on the parts that I really want to use in life. And then the extra tests that they had. And then at the end, you're supposed to go for a job interview and write up a cover letter and go for an interview. I did everything that I was supposed to do except the job interview. It was so funny when I wrote the mission statement or the cover letter. The guy, when I gave it to him, he told me, you know what he told me? He said, did you write this? He says, it doesn't sound like you. If I was going for a job, there's no way in the world that the job interview guy would know me. So he won't say, oh, you didn't write this. It don't sound like you. It doesn't sound. And after a while, when that guy moved on, and I went back and I told the guy I finished the course, I just didn't get the past the thing, because the guy told me that my mission statement or my cover letter didn't sound like me. But anyway, I was applying. Oh, I said world anyway. I'm not supposed to say that word, that phrase. But anyway, moving forward, I'm going to try a different concept here. Now you just don't pop up all of a sudden and start studying something 4 and 5 hours a day. Maybe you do. Your habits, your work habits. If you can jump up all of a sudden and sit at the piano, if you haven't been practicing regularly, pop up and sit at the piano every waking minute of the 2-hour sessions before the sun go down, or try to get in 12 hours a day at the piano, or try to get in 8 hours a day in your session room recording. I'm going to try something. I'm going to see how many hours I can cram in before New Year's. Overall hours. Studying, sight reading, learning new songs. So that means I have to drop all of the jazz standards and all of the popular music, jump right into my Christmas music. And that means that I'm going to have to start recording my Christmas music as I'm going, even when the song's not ready. I need to record and overdub. I need to lay down some tracks. I think I'm going to start with Old Christmas Tree, that Charlie Brown theme song. Christmas Time Is Here. Greensleeves. I'm going to do everything in the jazz mode. And my sight reading, I need to sit down and crawl through the sight reading, left hand, first hand. 12 minutes. Let me get out of here. I'm saying anybody babble again. If you can make sense of anything that I'm saying, you should. If you're making sense of what I'm saying, that means that I'm not saying if you don't understand what I'm saying, that means you're probably human, a normal person. But if you understand anything of what I'm saying, that I think that you're a kind of person that's trying to gun ho. If you have a passion for anything in this world right now, if you dreamed about anything, you say, well, I'm going to accomplish it. I know most people I meet when I played out on the street say, oh, I always wanted to play the piano. How long have you been saying I always wanted to do this? and haven't did anything to move toward. I sound like one of the motivational speakers. I always wanted to be a sight reader and to be able to play any song that I hear. My grandfather told my father, you should be able to pick up any music and read it like it's a newspaper. You should be able to read any newspaper, except if it's like the stock exchange, I guess, or somebody's philosophy of Einstein's theory of a lot of big words or technical jargon, you might stumble through it, but you can still use your finger and read the words. You can read. If you can read words, you can read words. If you can read music, you should be able to read music. I'm going to push myself forward. I'm gone here. It's been 15 minutes here. I'm going to see what this one, I'm going to save this one. Oh, I forgot too. This microphone is hot. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to go listen to, no, I'm not even going to listen to this. I'm going to let you guys listen to it. I don't want to listen to me. So, but I leave myself a comment. I'm going to move forward here. Go for the gusto, man. Go for what you got. Go for broke. All right. Some people say, make it or die trying. Martin Luther King said, if a man doesn't have anything to die for, he isn't fit to live. I think I'd die for, I don't know. There are some people that I see. Sometimes I see a child playing, a little kid running and toddling, so cute. I think I'll sacrifice my life for a child like that. It's very, I couldn't see myself sacrificing for an older grump, grown up. But I think I'll sacrifice myself for someone that has, I don't know how long we have on this planet, but I see some children, I think I would die for a child. I'm out. Peace and hair grease. Pursue your dreams. Go for gusto, man. I'm going to see the next time I talk to you. I'm going to see how I did today. I'll let you know later on today how I'm doing. Move on. Go for it. Go for the broke. I'm out. Wow.